and hear about our session with the NMIS this morning, NMIS Skills Academy. So a couple of things of interest that you're going to hear about this morning: National Training Transition Fund and the Advancing Manufacturing Challenge Fund, and how that can fit as an opportunity for your business. I'm going to hand over to Stuart and the team in a second, but before that, our usual housekeeping rules for this morning. So if you could keep your mics on mute for now and cameras off, just to save any distractions from our speakers, that would be great. We will have a question and answer session, but we're going to save that until after the speakers have taken us through their presentations. As ever, if you've got a question, please stick it in chat. Once you've done that, if you want to, when we come to the question and answer, we'll ask you to come off mute and stick your camera on, and we'll talk to each other like real human beings. So with no more ado, I'm going to hand over to Stuart. Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you, Paul, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the session, and happy St Andrew's Day. I am going to share a presentation. Can you all see that?
Yeah, we can see that, Stuart.
Yep, okay, grand. So welcome to the session. We've got three things we'd like to discuss with you today that Paul's outlined. And I will start just by telling you a little bit about NMIS. Most of you are probably already aware, but it's a group of industry-led manufacturing R&D facilities combining research, industry and the public sector, looking really to transform skills, productivity and innovation to make sure that Scotland becomes or remains a global leader in advanced manufacturing. We're supported by the One Scotland team, Scottish Government, SDS, Scottish Enterprise, the Catapult, etc. We're operated by the University of Strathclyde. And we work very closely with a number of stakeholders, including Paul and the Scottish engineering team. At NMIS Manufacturing Skills Academy itself, we work right across the skills landscape, complementing and supplementing existing provision, looking where the gaps are to see how we can support manufacturing across the sector. And we work all the way through from foundation apprenticeships through the CPD space, and up and into doctoral programmes as well. So what are you here to hear today? And really, this is the meat of the matter. Under the Manufacturing Recovery Plan during COVID and Brexit, NMIS and the Manufacturing Skills Academy were asked to put forward some interventions to support the sector. Now, we all know that actually the sector is in a better shape than we had thought it was going to be. But there are a number of items in here that will be of interest to you going forward. So 5 line items in the work that we are doing for Scottish Funding Council and Scottish Government. But we're going to focus on 2 today. So the pilot programme to transform the perception of the manufacturing sector, and Rachel's going to cover that. The last one there is a continuation of the Graduate First Job programme, and I'm going to speak about that just shortly. And then after that, Hosey will talk about the Advancing Manufacturing Challenge Fund and how that can help as well.
Stuart, would it be possible to stick the presentation into presentation mode? Just make it a wee bit easier to read. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks, Paul. Still see the screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, grand. So the graduate programme, this is the second tranche of that. The first tranche we launched at the tail end of last year, started in earnest middle of this year. We recruited 30 graduates who'd been unable to find a job because of COVID and Brexit, and they were based right across the length and breadth of Scotland. The employers that we worked with were based right across the length and breadth of Scotland, Cromarty Firth, across to Aberdeen, down to Dalgety Bay and across to Lochilphead and down to the borders as well. This time round, we are going to recruit 50 graduates. So let me tell you how it works for the graduate part first. So we will look to recruit 50 graduates, predominantly those aged 25 and over, though not exclusively, who've been unable to find a job because of COVID and Brexit. They can be from university, but they could equally be from college with an HNC or an HND, and they're very likely to have completed an engineering or a STEM subject. The recruitment process for them, we ask them to upload a CV and a short video blog about themselves, 90 minutes to 90 minutes, it's not short, 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And the feedback we got from employers in Tranche 1 was that that really brought the CVs to life. So we're going to carry that on this time as well. We asked them what kind of areas they're interested in or they'd be looking to work in. And that's the kind of graduate part of it. We will recruit them, we will pay them a real living wage. And then from an employer's perspective, we will cover the national insurance, the pension and the apprenticeship levy costs. So in effect, we will be looking to place these graduates with employers, and that's hopefully why so many of you are around the table today. We do not charge for that. We will be offering placements between 3 and 6 months. From the employer's perspective, we ask you to complete a relatively simple one-page form, and the link is on the presentation there, which we'll send out. Expression of interest for graduate placement. We're asking you to identify the project or the area that you're looking for the graduate to work in. They can be remote or they can be on site. And though they are employed by ourselves for that full period, they will be working with yourselves for that full period, but still have the connectivity to NMIS. So there is no charge for employers involved in this programme, but clearly what we're looking for is those employers where there's the biggest chance of the individual actually getting a full-time job at the end of the 3 or 6 months, or where we feel that actually it's going to give them a really good chance of getting a job having worked with yourselves for that 3 to 6 months and having the connectivity with NMIS. What we will also do with the graduates is offer them access to the CPD provision that we are providing under NTTF. So again, you can potentially get somebody that's, you know, got really good skills, got a really good degree or HNC, HND, and picked up some courses from NMIS and got that connectivity with NMIS, but actually has spent between 3 and 6 months with yourself. So that really is the graduate programme. Happy to take questions at the end. We know that you know, a lot of companies just now are finding recruitment a real challenge, and I'm sure you'll find the next section of interest as well. And I'm going to hand over to Rachel Moyer to cover that. Rachel, I've consolidated the slides, so I can just continue if that works for you.
Yes, it's probably the easiest, yeah. No worries. Okay, hi everybody, good morning. My name is Rachel Moyer. I am the Head of Skills Programmes at the Manufacturing Skills Academy in NMIS. And as Stuart said, we are delivering quite a number of projects off the back of the NTTF scheme. One of them being increasing diversity in manufacturing. One of the things that's become quite clear with the way the sector's going and the change as a result of various aspects, whether it be COVID, Brexit, digital revolution, etc., is that if we are actually going to have a prosperous manufacturing industry going forward, we really need to start thinking about how we recruit from a much wider talent pool than we currently are, particularly from underrepresented groups. So that's where this piece of work really came about, and felt that it was an intervention that we wanted to take forward under the NTTF scheme. So if you can put the next slide, Stuart. So just as a summary, the inclusivity in manufacturing piece that we're doing is really, it's quite a wide programme. There's a number of key deliverables, which I'll go into in a wee second. But really the whole idea is that we want to embed the whole, the idea of diversity principles across the Manufacturing Skills Academy as we go. So for this piece of work, we have teamed up with 2 external organisations. We've teamed up with Equate, who are based at Napier University, who deal with gender equality side, and also AFB, the Association for Black and Minority Ethnic Engineers, who are based up in Aberdeen, to assist us with some of this programme as well. So they are joint delivery partners under the inclusivity in manufacturing piece. So the two key events and training that are coming up that I wanted to highlight to you today that might be of interest. One of them is very much targeted at employers, at companies, both SMEs and large companies, called Creating a Diverse Workplace. And the other programme that we're currently launching just now as well is aimed at potential employees. So it's giving people in underrepresented groups a bit of training to give them the confidence and that insight into the manufacturing industry as well. So there's two pieces of work there that we're looking to deliver. So the first one I wanted to briefly touch on is this Creating a Diverse Workplace piece. So what this is aimed at companies to try, as I say, to give them the skills and the tools and the training to be able to access the widest talent pool possible. So this training piece, it's essentially in two parts, and as I say, has been delivered in association with our partners, all online for just now anyway. And it really consists of two parts of training. You've got core knowledge building, which is 3 times 2 hour training slots for a company, looking at skills to reduce inequalities, looking at inclusive recruitment and also positive action piece as well. So there's that kind of core based training. But the second part of the offering as well is for those companies that engage in the training, there's also the offer of consultancy with our external partners as well, and that's very much tailored to the company, and that can be anything looking at reviewing HR policies, looking at behaviours, looking at employee experience, etc. as well, very much tailored to what the company wants to dig into a little bit more. So there's two pieces to that. And as I say, the online piece, the first of the courses will be getting launched in the 12th of January, and we're looking to run a number of cohorts up to 8 or 9, depending, and even more if there's demand. As I say, it'll be these 3 2-hour sessions and then the consultancy piece after as well. So we're really looking to get the word out to companies about engaging in this training and why you would want to do it, to get that, as I say, to get as broad a skill set as possible within your companies as well. So there's a lot of benefits to the company and also benefits to the individual attendees from the company. We're trying to target senior management and HR specialists and skills specialists if your company is large enough to have such a thing, to engage in this training as well. And as I say, you'll see from the slide there that there's a number of benefits, and this is only just some of the benefits that we've highlighted from this course as well. So there's a link to register there for that course, and you'll see the different dates that are available as well. As I say, it's running all the way through from January through to May. So it'd be great if we could get a number of companies, as many companies as possible, engaged in this and see the value in this type of training as well. Next slide, Stuart. The other deliverable that we're working on just now is this transition training programme, which is aimed at, as I say, potential employees that are perhaps from an underrepresented group across the manufacturing sector. So it's aimed at people with an engineering background, but maybe coming from other sectors or looking to change or at risk of redundancy as well. And it's open to recent engineering graduates to attend this. And it's essentially, it's a 1-day course, all online again, looking at role models. So we've got quite a number of people from industry engaged in that, employability workshops, and also a mentoring piece as well. So we're looking for graduates to sign up to that as well. So next slide, Stuart, please. So again, it's about what's in it for the attendee. It's really about getting that confidence and some insight into the industry as well, and giving them that opportunity to talk to some of the industry experts and other professionals in the area as well. The other thing, and again, I'm sure Stuart will highlight this and what myself and Jose are talking about today as well, although they're individual programmes, what we really want to see is learners being able to utilise many of these programmes across the board. So the aim is someone going through the transition programme, we then would signpost them to some of the work that Jose is doing and Stuart's doing as well off the back of that. So hopefully getting that foot into the manufacturing industry. So again, there's an Eventbrite link there for graduates to sign up to. So any of your networks, if you think there's the graduates that would be interested in that. And again, the first course of that is actually starting on the 9th of December and will run again through January, February, March next year. And again, if there's demand, we'll look to put on a few more. And just as a side from the transition training programme, we would also, if you're interested and you're from a company and if you want to be involved in being a mentor or been an interviewee in helping with that training and assisting some of these recent graduates into the industry, please get in contact as well. We'd be more than happy to utilise your services in that area as well. So again, all the links will be in the PowerPoint slides that get sent out. That's me. Next, Stuart.
Thanks, everybody. I think that's me next. As part of the NTTF program, we're also going to be offering a lot of training programs in the areas of sustainability, circular economy, and net zero, but also digital manufacturing. But the content that we'll create from an NTTF perspective is same at individuals. I'm here to talk to you about a similar, related, but different opportunity, which is the Advancing Manufacturing Challenge funding. This is the name of our project is Online Delivery of Digital Manufacturing and Leadership Training, and this is aimed at organizations. We have received funding from European funding to support manufacturing SMEs to become more competitive and productive through the development of training programs which manufacturing SMEs will be able to access free of charge. One of the key objectives of this program is to help organizations that are at the early stages of their Industry 4 journey or digital manufacturing journey to determine which are the technologies that will create the largest impact. Our work with manufacturing companies has highlighted that many organizations are not aware where is the best place to start, and this is one of the objectives of our program. This program is for all manufacturing companies across the UK, but is particularly aimed at SMEs. And what we're trying to do is we're creating a range of courses in advanced digital manufacturing, and you can see there some of the areas that we are currently working on. And if you go into our webpage today, you will see some of these courses already available. So Internet of Things, additive manufacturing, both looking at plastics and metals, remanufacturing, circular economy, vision systems, basic statistics, digital manufacturing, extended reality, robotics, cybersecurity, and lean manufacturing. You will see there's a combination of things here. Some are specific digital manufacturing technologies, again, just to show people what the opportunities this could bring. But we realize that some companies might not be at the stage where they are ready to embrace some of these technologies because there may be some foundational areas that might be that might still require some work. So that's why we have included there things like basic statistics, which is we see it as a prerequisite to developing a better understanding of data science, for example, or lean manufacturing, which is a prerequisite for trying to automate your organization before you consider bringing robotics or autonomous systems. We're continuously building material, and what we would like to ask is if you're interested in our content, again, if you go to our website, you'll be able to access it. I have put a link in there that will take you straight to our platform where you'll be able to browse some of the content. At the moment, we have 7 courses across 3 different areas, and we're continuously developing content. But what we need is to get further validation from industry that what we're doing is right, but also further validation of which areas we need to develop next. There's a lot of opportunities, and getting your feedback will help us to prioritize our development opportunities. As part of this program as well, and linking to this need to develop a better understanding of what you require, we also offer one-to-one support for manufacturing SMEs. We will come to your company to speak to your leadership team, to yourself, and the purpose of this is to help us better understand what your needs might be from a skills perspective. But through this process of engaging with you, we also be able to identify areas that our network might be able to support. So we'll also signpost to the appropriate support mechanisms across the NMIS network. And another support that we can offer, once we identify one of these specific skills gaps, we will be happy to put together a workshop that will be delivered at your premises to try to plug an immediate knowledge gap. From a content perspective, it's just worth re-emphasizing that our content is available free of charge to manufacturing SMEs, and that's because the content development activity has been subsidized through European funding. The nature of the content is self-directed, so it's 100% online. Your staff will be able to access it 24/7, and it's being disseminated through a learning management system that we recently acquired, a state-of-the-art portal that will allow us to track the learner's journey 100%. So if you would like to partner with us, if you don't have access to a system like this, we'll be happy to have a conversation with you to see if we could become your training service partner moving forward. And I think that's it. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks all. Stuart.
So I guess hopefully you can see from that there are some things that are of interest to you, and also that the approach that we're taking at NMIS Manufacturing Skills Academy is very practical and very focused on supporting the employers. Happy to field any questions.
So I think of that, we've got a few good ones in the chat. So first up, Dorothy Evans. Dorothy, I'll just give a second in case you want to come off mute and ask your question. Otherwise, I'll just go through the couple of them for you.
You carry on, Paul. That's fine.
Okay, thanks. So first question, I'm going to do both of Dorothy's questions. So first question, Stuart, can the company request more than one graduate, I guess, under the graduate program?
So in an ideal world, we place one graduate with each company. I think what we try to do in terms of the matching is make the best effective match to support the graduates, because the funding really is to support the graduates. So we might make a decision that we place two. And last time there were one or two companies we actually placed 3 graduates with. So I would say to you as an employer, if you think you want 2 or maybe even 3, put in an application for it. But we will be trying to, put no more than 1 at each employer.
Good stuff. I'm going to do the second of Dorothy's questions, which was how long will the process take until the company can bring a graduate on board to work with them? So what's this, what's the start and end date then?
So in terms of the turnaround, we do the matching fairly quickly. We are looking to, we're doing the launch just now, and we are looking to start the first graduates with the companies in the middle of January. So we are looking to move fast. Clearly, if it's a 3-month placement, it will be sometime after that, but the 6-month placements would be looking to start in January.
Good stuff. Thanks, Stuart. Next question we're going to come to is Ronnie Donegan. Ronnie, I'll give a pause in case you want to come off mute and ask your question.
Hi, yeah, sorry, thanks, Paul.
Well,
we're based in rural Angus, so trying to get hold of a graduate is sometimes quite a challenge, because a young person would rather be in the heights of Glasgow or Edinburgh compared to just north of Dundee. Do you see that as a challenge at all?
So the challenge for us, Ronnie, will be in finding you appropriate graduates. We did see that last time. We do advertise for graduates across the whole of Scotland. We're very happy if you actually know some local ones to encourage them to apply. What a couple of the companies did in more rural locations last time was actually where they did identify a graduate to offer some sort of top-up, either paying for the accommodation or a kind of salary top-up. If we're paying real living wage and you're trying to attract a graduate from Aberdeen or from Inverness or Dundee, well, Dundee's probably travelable, but one of the other areas, then they're probably not going to move physically for a real living wage. But if you're kind of topping that up, so that option is there as well.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Ronnie. Good. So the next question from Debbie. Debbie, I'll pause for a second in case you want to come off mute and ask your question.
Yeah, sure. So I was just wondering whether the employer would actually be involved in any of the down selection of who would be placed, or is that something that you would coordinate, Stuart?
Good question, Debbie, and I should have covered that off during my talk. So the process we followed last time is, we're asking the employers what kind of skill sets and degrees or HNCs, HNDs they're looking for in the graduates. Similarly, we're asking the graduates what kind of industries or areas they'd want to work with. And we do a kind of matchmaking service internally. And typically, I think on average, we were putting 2 or 3 graduates to each employer. And it was then up to the employer to interview those and decide if they wanted one of those or not. Now, if it's not, it's probably because in terms of the matching, those are the closest graduates to you. So not to say that you wouldn't get another chance, but it would probably be in the first call unlikely if we don't find somebody in that first tranche to work with you. But ultimately, it's got to be the employer's decision, because what we're really hoping at the end of the day is that the graduate makes themselves unemployable, and you feel compelled at the end of the 3 or 6 month place to say, I can't let you go, I'm going to have to offer you a full-time job. So you've got to be choosing who it is.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Debbie. Next question will go, if they wish, go to Janet Black. In which case I'll just pick that up. So this question was, do organisations have to be manufacturing engineering focused to be eligible to apply for a graduate, or is it more that the role must be STEM based or STEM related?
Yeah, that's a good question, Janet. So if we think back, the funding's coming through the manufacturing recovery plan. So ideally we are looking for STEM graduates and manufacturing or manufacturing associated organisations. Of course, we are sector agnostic, so we're not fussed if it's food and drink, or it's oil and gas, or it's CNC machining. But I think it's important that there is some sort of linkage. And just to give you an illustration there, so the very first graduate from the first programme actually came from RGU. They had done a petroleum engineering degree, and they started with the powerhouse in Cromarty Firth, which you might argue has nothing to do with manufacturing. It's in looking at the green porch bids, it's looking at the ScotWind leases, but they are going to have an advanced manufacturing facility on that site. So we felt there was a good justification for supporting that case, and he's actually just been offered a year's contract by UHI to keep him on. He's been so successful.
Okay, thanks a lot, Janet, and well done for juggling everything at home. Next, Stephen. Morning, Stephen. Okay, so we come to you.
Hi there. I was just wondering, are there any IP implications for bringing an apprentice in or a graduate in on the projects that we could potentially get them to work on?
So I think as far as we're concerned, and I did get asked this question just 2 weeks ago for the first time, actually. So as far as I'm concerned, if we think again about why are we doing this, it's to support those individuals. And we know there are companies who would not take people on if there are potential clashes with IP. So I think as far as we're concerned, the IP will reside with the employer that they are based with.
Great, thank you.
Okay, nice and clear. Thanks, Stephen. Ellen, well, I'll pause for a second in case you can come off mute and ask your question.
Yeah, sure. I was just to see if it would be based on part-time, full-time, and actually would shift work be an issue?
Shift work wouldn't be an issue for us, and if that's what you're looking for, then put that in the advert. I'm sure that will suit some graduates. We did offer part-time and full-time roles last time. We were probably surprised at how few part-time roles we got an interest in. I think only 1 or 2. But the working hours will be, I'm trying to remember now, it's 30 or 32 hours a week that we are actually paying for. And that's why we can say to the graduates, in their other part of their time, they should really be doing stuff that's meaningful to improve their careers, either with the company through taking part in some of the CPD or the equality and diversity modules, or doing some self-taught learning somewhere else. But we're not precious about the shape of the actual work that you have them doing.
Okay, thanks a lot. Just trying to find where I've got to. Okay, so I think my next question is from James Robb. James, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. So you've mentioned that it's primarily open to engineering graduates, but also STEM. I guess like many other companies, we're kind of trying to figure out what is the best fit for digitising our factory. So do you have a list of graduates or courses that they've sat so we can have a look at the kind of background, so we can kind of hone in on the type of graduate we want? We kind of know the projects we want. We don't know whether it's not a manufacturing engineer and it's not a traditional mechanical engineer. So we're trying to get a little bit of help as what types of graduates are out there, and what kind of best suits our needs.
So I guess the challenge with that one was we could probably go away and create a list and show you all the courses that are out there, and you might find the ideal one in there. But of course, if we get no graduates applying from that, it's a moot point. So I think what we'd rather do is if you identify the areas that you're looking for, so if it's manufacturing and it's digitalization, then as the graduates come in, as they apply, we will look for the best fit that we see for your business. And again, we can be signposting them to actually take part in some of the, Hosey ran an introduction to digital manufacturing, for example. So we can be signposting them to some of that type of provision to actually meet any gaps that they have.
Okay, thank you.
Ideal. Thanks a lot, James. And the last question that I see in chat is from Ronnie. So slide deck, I would say we will be able to get the slide deck out today. No issues with that, Ronnie. So we'll get that out to all the attendees from today, and probably a link to the recording as well, because I know a few folks missed a wee bit at the start. So hopefully both those things will be ready in there for you to catch up. Just see another. Okay, that's fine. Thanks, Ronnie. So just a quick look around the room in case any hands up or anybody else who wants to come in and just ask an open question. Otherwise, we are on track for a really nice, sharp, useful, informative session this morning. Giving you back some time in your day. There's one. Chris is going to be disappointed. So I don't see anybody else coming in. So at that, just I'm trying to keep up. Yep, not just some thanks. So thanks everyone for your time this morning. Rachel, Jose, Stuart, I really appreciate you reaching out and giving us the opportunity to present. Anybody, as I said, who joined a bit later, we will get the slide deck out and the link to the recording hopefully today, and we'll certainly get the slide deck out today. Sometimes the recording can take a wee bit longer, but we'll follow up if that's needed. And thanks everybody for your time this morning. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks everyone, and thanks Paul for